looks to be.
I think we're live. Alrighty, I think it's telling me that we're live on Facebook now. I'm going to get started. Firstly, welcome to Katie's book launch. This has been a long time coming, and I'm so honoured that I get to be the one to welcome you all and to facilitate this conversation and launch with Katie today. Couple of things that I want to start with is, first of all, welcoming everyone that is live, and that this will be recorded and will be made available to those that registered. We also have a few different giveaway options happening. The first is a random giveaway for a free copy of the book, Profit First for Tradies, which will happen randomly today by the end of this launch. And for those of you that registered for this launch via emails and that sort of thing through Katie, then there is the option of a one-on-one strategy session with Katie, as well as 3 copies of the book, and that will be drawn on Thursday. So don't stress about that today. We're going to have the random giveaway today, and then you will have the option of the giveaway of the 3 copies and the one-on-one strategy session with Katie. So where am I going to start? Let's start by actually introducing Katie. So Katie is a certified Profit First coach, a bookkeeper and a small business strategist who supports tradies to improve their cash flow through drawing on her years of experience in her former role as a financial planner, as well as the hundreds of tradies that Katie has worked with in her business that she started over 8 years ago. So Katie enjoys specializing in working with tradies, as she comes from a family of tradies and knows firsthand what it takes to run a trade business. And yes, I am so excited to be here with you, Katie. How are you going?
Good, thank you.
We made it. Can you believe we're here? This is so good. I want to go through the milestones and the timeline of like what actually happened with this book. So can you tell me about it?
Sure. So about 12 months ago on the 9th of May, we had a mastermind day with yourself and with Mike in Melbourne, which was a great day, and we happened to be having lunch. Mike happened to sit next to me, and that was when he first sort of suggested that I could write the book. I, of course, thought he was crazy and thought there was no way that I could do that. By the end of the day, I realised that I had to do that because this was a way that I could get more information out to tradies than what I had been doing in the past. So by the end of that day, I'd sent emails off to yourself and to those who were going to help me put the book together, and we got started. So then in July, I had a meeting with Mike to go through all the details of what that would look like and how I would need to do that. By August, we were finalising those details. By November, I had started writing, started editing, and received the first draft. It was also about the time that we had the Gospers Mountain Fire, which is quite near me. So that was an eventful time. We then also moved through to doing a whole bunch of proofing, layout, all of those things over the course of the last 6 months, really, to finally finish up recently and finally have a book in my hot little hands, which I've been able to post those all out earlier or late last week to those who have already purchased a copy. So that was
it's exciting.
That was quite exciting that they're given Australia Post. They will get there eventually. We just have to wait for those. So it was quite a number of different things that happened to put it together. But throughout that whole process, at no time did I feel like it was a chore. I didn't feel like I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't find it very hard. And I think that is because I really wanted to keep everything simple. I wanted the book to be really simple for the tradies because not everyone loves to read books, so I wanted something really simple and easy to follow. And so I just made sure that my process in getting the book to this point was simple as possible as well, even though everything was kind of going on at this point in time. So then here we are today, as you say, just under 12 months from when I first had that conversation with Mike to having my book launch. So it's been fun.
Thrilled for you. And to really think that it's just been under 12 months, considering all of the challenges that you faced external to obviously writing the book and that sort of thing. And I remember when I got the first, I guess, draft that you were happy enough to let me read, and how awesome it was to actually read. It's an easy read. It's an interesting read, and I love, and I think this is one of the questions that I have for you is, like, what's your favorite part of either the process of doing this or the book itself?
So the favorite part of writing the book, I think, was when I was able to then share it and get feedback, and people were like, as you said, it was easy read, it's simple, it's easy to follow, because that was what my goal was. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just another book on the shelf that nobody was going to read and it's just a waste of paper. I wanted it to be used and so on. So as an example, this is my copy of Mike's Profit First. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of notes and tabs, and it's highlighted and it sits on my desk. That's what I wanted. So to get that feedback from my peers and from some of my clients that I had managed that was a relief, a huge, huge relief on that. And the other part about the book that I love is that it's written in sections. So depending on where you are in your business, you can pick it up and go to that section that's going to help you now. You don't have to sit down and read it from the front to the back and get completely overwhelmed. You can just go to your section and work on that now. And it doesn't matter where your business is at, that you can find the section that is going to work for you now. And then as your business grows or changes, you just come back, go to the next section, or even redo that same section because your business has changed. So just to be able to keep it simple and get that feedback was probably one of the best parts of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have to say, I really loved the whole section part because, you know, like I wanted to dive into a particular area of the book first because that's what's of interest. And I know myself, when I read books, I don't always want to be able to read it from start to finish. And if I do from start to finish, then it takes me a really long time to then action things. And knowing you definitely want people to start taking action immediately. So I can understand exactly why you did it in sections. So I'm so excited to have it out there. Thank you so much for sharing that. And just a reminder as well that if you would like to go in the running for the giveaway that we're going to have at the end of this launch, put in the comments why you'd like to receive this book, and the most creative answer will get their copy of the book. Also, in terms of the PowerPoint that comes up, we've got the link down the bottom of the screen there to buy the book via Amazon. And for those of you that already, as Katie said, have put in your orders, they've gone out. So start posting photos and tagging Katie when you do receive it, because there's nothing better than seeing the book being spread around. Awesome. All right. So now this is perfect timing to introduce Mike. So Mike Michalowicz is an entrepreneur behind 3 multi-million-dollar companies and is the author of Profit First, Clockwork, The Pumpkin Plan, and his newest book, Fix This Next. He's a former small business columnist for the Wall Street Journal and regularly travels the globe as an entrepreneurial advocate. So he has put together a video for us that I would love to share with you all.
You do. By Tradies. Homes, businesses, the world is supported by the efforts that you make. And in order for you to support the world, you gotta support yourself. Your business must be profitable. My name is Mike Michalowicz, and I am the author of Profit First. And it is my absolute privilege and honor to share that Katie Marshall has released her book, Profit First for Tradies. It is Profit First specifically for what you do. And you don't have to be a master at the numbers. You don't have to be good at accounting. You will inherently drive profit in your business every day going forward. All you need to do is read the book. Enjoy Profit First for Tradies by Katie Marshall.
How exciting. And it is so true, because like Mike actually sent me an email before this and he's like, today's the day, you know, so he sends his wishes and he wish he could be here live, but you know, the video is always such an awesome thing to share. Now, before we go on to some more information, I would love to actually interview you, Katie, because I know, one, how much gold there is in what you do, and you don't love speaking about yourself. So I'm going to put you in a position where I can ask some questions. So we're going to chat, if that's okay with you.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
That is okay.
Very good. Well, my first question is, why Tradies?
I have come from a family of tradies. My grandfathers, my dad, my brother, my husband, my uncles. Like, if you go through my family tree, it's hard not to find somebody who is a tradie of some description. And I have, out of all my friends, there's very few of them, particularly the male friends, who aren't a tradie of some description. So it just kind of come naturally. When I started my business, that is who I was going to work with. And then I went through a phase, like we all do in business, where it's not so fun. When I looked at my business, it was because I was working with a whole bunch of people who just didn't have the same interests as I did. And when I went through my client list, all the ones that I loved working with were my tradies. And from then I got back onto the path that I had originally decided on, and have since then just worked with tradies. I love talking to my clients about how many cubes of concrete they've laid, or what they're building, or what, like, I love all that stuff. I love cars. I love all of that sort of thing. So it's just fun for me. And because I've grown up around it, I always wanted to be a mechanic. But then I left high school and went overseas as an exchange student for 12 months. And then when I come back, I ended up in financial services. But what I realize now is that I've always loved pulling things apart and putting them back together. I didn't go down the mechanic path, but that's what I do with my clients in their business. It's like we get in there and we pull apart their business and we put it back together and make it better. And I just find it much more fun and interesting with tradies. So that is, I can't actually imagine working with any other types of clients, actually. That would be odd.
That's awesome. And I think that's the thing, it's the key, is like, where does the passion lie? And it obviously lies within that industry. And I've seen it through working with you with Profit First, and the whole membership has. And so like, that's why this book is so invaluable to like the trades industry, because there's nothing out there that really caters specifically for them with Profit First, which leads me on to my next question. Why Profit First?
So when I started my business, my bookkeeping business, I had come across Xero, and I thought I was going to be able to change tradies' lives, be able to get their bookkeeping all sorted and up to date on Xero, and it was going to be amazing, which it was. But I realized that that wasn't the answer. Just because they had the numbers at their fingertips wasn't helping them make better decisions. And when Mike wrote his Profit First in 2014, I came across it then, read it, went, that's interesting, and then put it down. And then came back to it and started doing a bit, and then put it down. So I had a couple of stops and starts with Profit First. And then the time when I was not having so much fun in my business, that is when I went, well, part of it was because I was working with clients that I didn't enjoy working with. The other part of it was that I wasn't able to help my clients in the way that I wanted to. The bookkeeping wasn't doing enough for me. And so that's when I went back to Profit First and read the book again, implemented it in my business, and just found that it's a really easy to follow structure that is also adaptable to our businesses, no matter what our businesses look like. And from there, I then become certified and have been using it ever since. And it's a simple solution for a cash flow problem that every tradie has. And it keeps it really easy to follow for them, which is what I like. I like things to be efficient and simple. We don't like to overcomplicate things.
Yeah, fantastic. And I guess that leads me to the next question, which is, you know, like, Obviously, we're going to have people read the book, but like, what outcome would you like to see for your readers that actually read the book?
So, as I said, for those who read the book, you don't have to read it cover to cover. You can read sections, but I want you to take action, even if it's just one little thing. And that might be post-it notes in there. It might be some highlighting. It might be opening a bank account for GST, whatever it may be. But just, I want them to not be overwhelmed at the thought of implementing everything all at once. I always say Profit First is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You just have to, and you know, I couldn't run a marathon tomorrow because I haven't trained for it. Same as Profit First, you just can't jump in and set it all up and everything works. You just have to do one step at a time. So just one thing, just do one thing today, one thing the next, and so on, and build on that.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it's so true. It is about the small micro actions that turn into the big life-changing events for people that implement Profit First. So Katie, what's next?
So for me, I guess my big goal now is, the book is great, but as we said, it's of no use unless it actually gets used. So my goal is to have my book in the hands of 1,000 tradie wives partners by this Christmas, because the more I can get the book out there, the more you can all start taking one little step, and that is then going to help everybody and help the trades industry. And most importantly for me, it's about helping the families and the children. So I am the daughter of self-employed people as a child, so I understand how tough it is. And if my book can help families not have to have dad working 80 hours a week or dad working weekends or whatever it may be, then that's my goal. So 1,000 tradies by Christmas is my next step.
Well, I definitely think we're going to get there, and it's not just a matter of buying the book. So obviously we've got the links to do that, and I really recommend that anyone who's interested or knows of someone that could get something out of this book, please buy the book, please gift the book. But I do know that we've got giveaways, 3 copies that are happening on the Thursday, as well as the giveaway today. But you know, you're wanting the word spread, aren't you, in terms of, you know, making that difference.
That's right. And what I've also done is, for anyone who does buy a copy of the book, if you have a mate or a sister or a brother or whatever who may not be in the best financial position, particularly with what's going on now, send me an email and I'm happy to send them a free copy. So that's my goal. I want emails from people to say, hey, can you please send Bill a copy of this on my behalf? And I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That is so good. And are you going to be tracking the numbers? And if so, can we get a count up so that we can get updates? Because I really want to see how many people this actually ends up in the hands of.
Yes, I will be tracking, of course.
Brilliant. I look forward to the updates. And just a reminder, talking about getting the book into the hands of those that would like it, put in the comment section why you would like to receive the book, and we will be giving a book away by the end of this launch. Okay, so thank you so much, Katie, for answering my questions. And I think that it gives people a great insight as to, you know, why and where you've come from and where you're heading next. And so that's fantastic. We do have another video guest on our launch today, and that would be Andrew. So Andrew Griffiths is Australia's #1 small business author who has written 12 books. Andrew's books are sold in over 50 countries and translated in 5 languages, and he is also a global speaker. So let's play this video.
Hello there, Andrew Griffiths here. Thank you very much for having me at your virtual launch, Katie. And I just want to say congratulations. Congratulations on writing your book, Profit First for Tradies. It's been such a pleasure to work with you through the writing and the publishing process of this book. It's so much that it takes and to actually write a book and to get it out. And it says a great deal about a person. And I think that your passion to help people really has shone through during this entire process. It's what kept you focused. It's what's kept the book on track. And in so many ways, it's been kind of the easiest book that I've worked on with an author as well. That focus, I think anyone in the room who knows you understands the Katie focus, the structure, the methodical approach that you take. So I think a huge congratulations to you for making this happen. And I think on top of it though, is the underlying need for your book. There is no doubt that it's hard to be a tradesperson in Australia. Like most parts of the world, it's complex. Right here, right now, we're in the midst of ridiculous times in so many ways. And there's always those businesses that will benefit, those businesses that lose out. And unfortunately, I think it's mostly businesses losing out at the moment. And a book like yours, the far-reaching impact is that we hopefully create more businesses that are strong financially. They're better able to survive challenging times. They're more resilient. And kind of get away from this hand-to-mouth existence that so many businesses in Australia actually live by, and certainly so many trades live by. And I think that's where really I want to acknowledge you for what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, this is great for your business, and the effort you've put in there is being acknowledged, and it's fabulous. But I also know that deep down you also really want to have a big impact on as many tradies as you can around the country. And this book is certainly going to do that. So enjoy the celebrations. Everyone give Katie a big virtual hug. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you. I've helped many, many hundreds of people to write and publish their first book. And I'm genuinely honest when I say this one has been one of the easiest. You are so delightful to work with, so easy to work with, and you do what I tell you to do. So, you know, that's my favorite kind of client. All right, congratulations, and I know your book is going to do fantastic things for you and for tradies around Australia. All right, see you later, folks.
Hear, hear, is all I can say. I know that you have some thank yous of your own, Katie, that you'd like to say.
Yes, I do. So firstly, I want to thank Clinton and his team at Tradiepad. So they're a technology training company that works specifically with tradies to implement job management systems, Tradify, that sort of thing. They have been a wonderful support of the book and the launch. So a big, big thank you to them firstly as well. Also to Nick and Woz at Tradies in Business. They have a membership to help tradies run and sort out their business, and again they've been a great support during this process. Again, thank you to Laura and Michelle and Profit First Australia. Without Laura setting the bar very high for what is expected of us in as a Profit First professional, it makes it very, very easy to do what we do, and the support that you give us along the way is very, yeah, it's amazing. So thank you very much. Obviously to Mike for writing Profit First when he did. So Mike's goal is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. And when I first read that, and for a couple of years, I thought that was a little bit catchphrasy and so on. And then as I've become part of the Profit First family and got to know Mike and writing this book, I realized that his goal is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty, and he does that through writing his books and helping people like us support our clients. So a huge thank you to Mike for his big, grand vision, because it just makes it's lovely to have somebody who is out there who really believes in small business and is really trying to make a difference. So it makes what I do much, much easier. If he can write how many books he's written, I can write one. So thank you to Mike. And then finally to my clients who have put their faith in me and who have stepped out of their comfort zone and who have decided that, you know, something has to change, and have made it through a profit, or started and moved through the Profit First journey with me, to see them go from stressed, overwhelmed, no cash, no wages. Many of them come to me when they're at their wit's end, to be able to help them move through the Profit First journey, to have businesses which they are enjoying going back to work, they're taking a wage, they're paying their bills, they're paying their tax and so on. The huge thanks is on them to allow me to be part of that journey and help them through that process. So, and thank you everyone who has come on live today as well and who watched the replay, and for those who have bought the book so far, because that's, as I said, 1,000 Tradies by Christmas. We're up to about 200 already. So thank you very much for those who have done that so far.
Awesome. And I'd love to say a big thank you to you for being the pioneer in actually bringing Profit for Tradies to Australia. You are the first person that jumped out of your comfort zone and went, yes, I'm going to do this because you want to impact that, you know, a number of businesses and change, you know, how we deal with our cash. So thank you, because without you doing this, we wouldn't even be here. So a massive, massive thank you to you. And before we start to sort of wrap up the launch, I'd love to pick your brains a little bit more. So we've spoken about your journey and why Tradies and Profit First and that sort of thing, but can you explain a little bit further, like what have you done with your clients with Profit First, and like a case study or how the book can help? I'd love to know more.
So every client is obviously in a different spot, but one thing I love about Profit First is, as we said, it's a framework that's adaptable to each client. So probably a good example is a builder client of mine who came on board probably about 9-10 months ago now. As I said, come to me. He had decided to work on the business rather than in the business. His goal was to get off the tools, which is something that's common for many clients I see. But what had happened was he had taken his eye off the ball, and all of a sudden his cash flow had almost disappeared. The jobs were dropping off. He could no longer pay himself, and that type of thing. So what we did is then I received an email from him in the middle of the morning. I talk about him in the book as well. Actually, I received an email from him like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I could tell by the email that things weren't great. So we were able to take him from no wages, tax bills, no cash flow, through to taking the wages he deserves. He has money aside for profit. He's been able to pay his last 2 BASs on time. He's paid his staff super on time. And we did that by just simply stepping through the process that we talk about in the book. So we have to first plan, like, what do you actually want? Because what him as a builder client and what another builder client want can be very different. So we have to figure out what they want. We then go through and prepare their bookkeeping, make sure that's all up to date so the numbers are actually correct, because otherwise we're just looking at incorrect information. Then we move through Profit First with him to implement all the steps in Profit First. And then finally we get to the stage where through the Profit First process and the entire process I take my clients through, for me, it's all about education and giving them the information so they can make better decisions. So, you know, he's been able to decrease his expenses by 19% without having to go without things that he needs. As I said, he's been able to pay all those things and have money aside for them. And he now is a dad who is not a cranky dad, who's not working weekends, who's not working 10, 12-hour days. And for me, as I said, that's the best thing, to get those emails. Saving money and all that stuff is great, but to get the emails to say that, oh, you know, we were able to go away on the weekend with the family and not worry about work, that's the most exciting part for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of people consider Profit First to be only about the money, when in actual fact it's a much, much bigger impact than that. And it is about, you know, getting your time back and spending it with the family and being sure that you have enough money to spend at home. Do you know what I mean? And that's something. And so I think you explaining this particular client really highlights that, and is an amazing thing. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I love how you've pieced this information throughout the book as well, so that it's not just theory, it's actually, this is what someone has done. So thank you so much for that. All righty, so we are going to wrap up the launch, because I know that we've been here and we don't want to spend too much time with people, because we know that how busy they are, it's in the workday. But I do want to remind you of a couple of things. And the first thing is, Katie has created a resources page, which is almost like the toolbox to the book. And there's lots of free resources there for people, and that we're just putting it up on the screen now. So it's profitfirstfortradies.com.au/toolbox. And this is constantly being updated. So check back in, and as you know things progress, then Katie will be uploading more stuff. We've also got the link to buy the book via Amazon. And the 3 copies of the book for those that registered will go out on Thursday by Katie, and we'll also find out who the winner is of the one-on-one strategy session. So I can't wait to find that out. Now, I have got here, I've been told of the lucky winner of the random giveaway from today, and I'm just getting up the name. 1 second. I believe that this book is going to go to Clinton Cowan. So congratulations. If you could please comment or PM the page, then Katie will be able to organise getting you a copy of the book. So congratulations. There you go. You can tick 201 in terms of in you know.
I can too. Thank you.
That's it. So thank you for those that have actually been a part of this book launch or will be watching the replay. And thank you, Katie, so much for doing this for us and for creating this book. And just a reminder again that there is that resources page, and I recommend that you jump on that and continually sort of check in, because there's a lot of great information that's going there. So was there anything that you wanted to say before we wrap up?
Again, thank you everyone for jumping on today, or if you watch the replay, thank you, Laura, for hosting today for me. And I can't wait to get your feedback about the book. As we said, I want to see it all used and tabbed and highlighted and so on. And I'd love to hear about the steps that you're implementing. So always feel free to reach out at any time.
And take lots of selfies, or get someone to take a photo of you, even if you don't want to. Hashtag Profit First for Tradies, because we want to see how many people are actually, you know, reading the book and taking the action. So thank you everyone for being here today, and it's been such a pleasure to host this launch. And yeah, we will also be posting the links into the comments as well on the Facebook page, so that that goes out, and I'm sure that Katie will send a copy of this to those that registered with the links too. So thank you so much. This has been such fun.
Thank you.